How's it going, guys? It's the Pixelate Pumpkin, and in today's video, I'm back with another look at the leaks, and today we got a hell of a lot more. Now, these are all of the theme. I will be talking about the whole prop lineup maybe in a few days. I'm just waiting on better photos since a lot of them are extremely blurry, unfortunately, and some of them are just like you can hardly make out what the prop is at all. So I'm just going to be waiting a few more days until we get better looks at all the props, which I'm sure more is going to get leaked since I feel like every day now there is just a ton being leaked. So again, I just want to say, if you watched the previous video, I'm 100% within my legal right to discuss and show these images, as I did not acquire them firsthand. They were posted publicly on sites like Instagram, Discord, and Facebook, so these are all public images and they are okay to use. I cannot get in any trouble for using these photos. But with that out of the way, I guess let's take a look at the Spirit Halloween 2022 theme. Alrighty, so starting off with our probably one of the best photos we have of the full completed theme, the archway. Now, I know this photo looks pretty crappy. I'm guessing it was taken off of somebody's computer screen, or perhaps it has a filter on it. I don't know, but this seems to be the only full image of the archway right now, and we do get a very decent look at it, and my god, is this an awesome theme this year. I loved last year's theme. This year's theme seems to be another awesome theme. Mike Kroll is killing it. He's the designer of the Spirit Halloween themes. But in the props department this year, which we'll get into in a few days probably, I'm really not feeling the props this year. But as for this archway, it looks really cool. So let me break it down for you. As you can see on each side, there are these plasma/Tesla coils, I guess, or a plasma ball tower, something like that. They kind of look like Tesla coils too, but not quite. But you could tell that they're going for this scientific laboratory theme here. And so what a lot of people were thinking is there'll probably be some sort of, not really futuristic, I want to say, but more of a modern laboratory. But what we're getting here is kind of like a classic Frankenstein lab, which I love. I think that is a great way to take it with the lab theme, something you wouldn't expect to see, and I honestly really love it. And as you could see right at the top of the archway, we have the Dr. J. Reaper Monster Laboratory. Now, I'm not a big fan of the sign. It looks pretty bland, but still the archway as a whole is really cool, especially with those plasma towers. Absolutely loving that. And then you could see the two props we have is, of course, Lord Raven and Possessed Pumpkin. Now, Possessed Pumpkin is really cool. This is one of the best looks that we have of him. He is a crouchy reskin, but I have to say I think I probably like him better just from these photos. But we're not talking about props, and we're talking about the themes here. So unfortunately, we don't get that great of a look at the front theme. This is pretty much just a confirmation from this photo that it will be a walkthrough very similar to last year. Now, I kind of wanted them to stop doing that, as I liked a big object like the boat from 2019 as like a front theme, and then have just a walkthrough in the back theme. So I'm not a big fan of the straight through walkthroughs, especially for the front theme, but this front theme seems very big, and there are a few photos of the side which I'll show you guys in a second here, which also seem to be the front theme. But this is basically the best look we have at the archway. So that's about it for the archway there. I'm really digging it. I also like the poles that are holding up the sign. So overall, just a really neat archway theme. Now for, unfortunately, probably the best look we have at the front theme so far as of right now is this. Now this seems to be taken from the side of the front theme, as you could see in the archway photo right here. You could see this kind of matches the shape there. So I'm guessing this is basically where the props will be for the front theme. And now I have to say, it looks pretty big. So the problem with last year was I thought the front theme was way too small. There really wasn't that much room for props and stuff, but this one seems to jet out a lot around the walkway, which I think is a big plus here, and it just looks very detailed. And basically some of the geometric shapes they're getting here with the theme, I really never thought they could do in a theme, honestly, but it just looks really good here. I am a big fan of what they're doing with the front theme this year. Now, we can't get too much detail here, but I guess Grimm is going there, as he is returning as an in-store prop this year, so that's probably where he's going to end up going. And if you notice those black kind of divots in the side, I don't know if that's the best word for it, but I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be some sort of water feature, as that has been rumored to have, the front theme will have some sort of water feature, or at least the themes in general will have some sort of water feature. But I have to say, this is a pretty interesting sort of theme right now. And as you can see on the ground in the middle there, on that middle riser, there are a few signs that have yet to be hung up. So I know it kind of looks bland with just the stone, but there are going to be plenty of caution signs and electrical signs around to add some color to this honestly somewhat drab looking theme. But I'm going to be honest, I really like how this looks. It is such a interesting combination of a laboratory mixed with this almost medieval-like castle, even though it's not obviously from the medieval era. You know what they're going for with that Frankenstein lab castle here, which, again, I'm really loving that. The risers, however, I'm not the biggest fan of. The plywood kind of look they have to them kind of does not match the stone feel of the lab, so I mean, they kind of stick out a little bit too much, and I don't know, I'm not the biggest fan of the texture they choose to put on the riser. But overall, this seems to be a very, very interesting front theme, and again, very big, and there's lots of space for props here. Now, finally, the back theme, and luckily we have some really great photos of this so far. So as you can see, this seems to be kind of your standard back theme for a Spirit Halloween theme, I guess you could say, and it has been confirmed that there is a walkthrough going through the side there. Fortunately, we don't have a great angle to really show that, so you just got to take my word on this one. That has been confirmed, though. And as you could see, there's a lot to talk about here, so let's start right in the middle. So right there, obviously, you could see the sign says testing lab. I can't really get a good look of what the other words are. Obviously, they are way, way too small. But right beneath that, there are these two windows, which are screens, which is really cool. And that is another interesting thing right there. As you can see in this photo too, one of them appears to be on, which is really cool as well. I'm not really sure what's going on there, but still pretty cool. And then right next to it, I think this is another water feature, or at least some sort of fog feature perhaps. But at first I thought those were just two big lights, blue lights on the side. But from looking at more, those look to be some sort of pipes, and it looks like they're either spraying out water or fog, which looks really cool. And if it's fog, I think there'll be fans underneath it to make it look like it's being pulled down into there to really achieve that water effect. And as for the middle, it just looks like there's a few gears there, which is cool. So I'm sure there's going to be a lot of interesting stuff. Perhaps what's on the screens and what's actually in real life will be interacting in some way. And I'm just going to be honest, this seems to be one of the most interactive themes yet, or at least possibly a very animated theme. I'm guessing this whole middle section is going to be kind of similar to the Pumpkin Carve-O-Matic last year, as they have to one-up that somehow since that was so cool. And I'm guessing this is what they're going to be doing to try to one-up that. And now, as you could see, other than that middle section, which is probably the most interesting, we have where all the props are. As you can see, Mr. Dark is returning right there. Then there's Betty Sharp and the new Reagan from The Exorcist, which, again, we'll be discussing props in a later video. But as for everything else here, it's, again, your run-of-the-mill kind of back theme, but there still is a decent amount of uniqueness to it. I do like those, it looks like they're kind of plastic almost, the ceilings above the little areas there. I don't really know what to call it. And then at the very top, we have what looks like to be some sort of other plasma or Tesla coil, some sort of something like that there, which does look very cool, and I like that a lot. And as you can see from this photo here of Nozzles the Clown, it looks like there are actually more posters this year, which is really cool. So I'm sure they're going to have completely different designs from last year, so I'm really looking forward to seeing what's on those posters. And maybe they'll have some leftovers from last year that they'll put in there, or maybe they're going to keep printing the ones from last year. I don't know, but I'm sure there are going to be new posters regardless, and it's nice to see them doing that again, as I thought that was a very cool idea from last year. So overall, that is pretty much it for the back theme here. So, and I guess that's pretty much it. So I will be giving my overall opinions on the theme so far. And yep, that's pretty much it. So take one last look at the back theme and we'll move on. Well, alrighty, everybody, that has been it for the Spirit Halloween 2022 theme leak so far. I know a lot of these photos are extremely blurry, and we don't get the best look at it, but maybe that's for the best, as we'll be surprised when we get a look inside the store. But overall, as of right now, I'm actually really loving the theme. I think it is a very cool and unique idea. I don't know if I like it better than the factory just yet. I think the factory had a lot of interesting and unique features to it as well. It felt a little bit more cartoony though, and this overall, this theme feels very like old spirit and more gritty, which is something I very much like, as well as a lot of other people do. So be sure to let me know what you guys think. Do you like this or the factory better, or is this really not showing you much promise? I do think it seems a little bit bland, but I don't know. I think there's going to be a lot of really, really cool features, and I'm just really excited to see all the animated parts of this theme, as I'm sure they are going to try to one-up that Carvomatic from last year. I'm really looking forward to see how they take that to another level. But again, overall, this feels like a 2013, 2014 era theme they would make. It reminds me a lot of the Asylum and the Ruins, so that is something that is definitely a massive positive on my part there. And yeah, I guess that's pretty much it though, so be sure to like and subscribe as always. Let me know what you think of these in the comments below, and as always, this is Big Slay Pumpkin, signing out.